I have no respect for women, for sure. Okay? I think so poorly of them, and the reason why.
Hey, what's up? Usually when it comes, I don't report on missing people, but I will report after they're found. And the reason is I don't know if they want to be found or not, So, whatever. This is a sad story. So, this missing Fruitland mom found dead in rural Washington County. Police say a hunter found Sarah Stepp's vehicle on Saturday afternoon. Her body was found by search and rescue crews a few hours later. In Fruitland, Idaho, the Fruitland Police Department says a 41-year-old mother of 3 who went missing nearly 2 weeks ago has been found dead in a rural Washington county. Sarah Stepp was considered gravely disabled. Stepp was last seen at her home in Fruitland around 3:30 p.m. on September 26th. Police say that she left her home in a pearl green 2014 Ford Escape. The vehicle was found around 2 p.m. on Saturday, October 5th by a hunter in rural Washington County. The sheriff's office was contacted when the Washington County Search and Rescue was deployed to the area. By 4:30 p.m., a body was found, and it has been identified as Sarah Stepp. Investigators say it appears no foul play was involved in her death. So there you go. That's too bad she was found dead. I think the other missing woman, she was found alive. But that sucks, I don't know. Hey, so I've got some good news for gun owners. Twin Falls man gets approved to sell firearms from his home. Good for him. Shouldn't have to get approved, but if it was up to me, I would have gun yard sales where everybody can sell their weapons for $1. Twin Falls, Idaho. Planning and zoning approved a Twin Falls man's request 2 weeks ago, granting him rights to sell firearms out of his home. Awesome. I'm going to go check him out. Probably not, but I usually don't even get out of the house. Daniel Corsini will be able to run a federal firearms license transfer and armor business from his home on Highland Lane. He said, "It's only a side business." Yeah, but good for you, man. Corsini wasn't the first home to get approved for the particular business, as the Planning and Zoning Commission approved similar home occupations last year, August, and in March of 2019. Jonathan Spendlove, Director of Planning and Zoning, said Corsini didn't just get approved to sell firearms from his home. He just so happened to meet the definition of home occupation in the code. So it wasn't necessarily to sell firearms, it was to run a home occupation from his property, he said. Corsini said he hopes to storefront his business in the next year. With that said, the home-based business is only temporary. That's awesome. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, so Canyon County commissioners want to fund a new jail through local option sales tax. Nobody knows. Our jails here in Idaho are overfilled. We have to send them to Washington, I think. I might be wrong about that, but I know they're overfilled. And a lot of it has to do with these non-violent crimes. And it pisses me off. The problem, the county commissioners, is that state law doesn't allow them, and the legislature isn't on board with the idea. Good. Block that crap. 700 people, that's how many people, and the Canyon County Sheriff says, are in pretrial service instead of in jail every day. Yeah, but how many of those were petty crimes, though? The Idaho Press, our news partners, reported that Canyon County Commissioners Pam White and Tom Dale met with the contingency of legislators who represent districts within the Canyon County. The Canyon County Commissioners reportedly met with a group of legislators from their area to talk about funding a new jail through local option tax. The purpose of the meeting was to discuss the chances of passing a local option sales tax bill. No. What, tax the citizens so that you can build a cage to throw them in later because they broke a technicality? After 4 failed bond attempts to fund a new jail, the commissioners want another option to raise the money needed, so they're exploring local option sales tax. However, the commissioners do not have the authority to levy a sales tax according to the state law. Only resort cities with a population under 10,000 can implement a sales tax of 60% if their voters approve it at the polls. In order for Canyon County to have the power to ask their voters to raise the sales tax, the legislator would need to pass a bill. Unless like all those voters are stupid, nobody's going to vote for a tax increase. Following the meeting, Canyon County Sheriff Kieran Donahue says that she is not confident something will be done at the state level. The takeaway that I had is that people from the legislature who were in attendance at the meeting do not want to do anything, he said. According to the Idaho Press, the legislators in attendance were Senator Jim Rice, Republican from Caldwell, Representative Gary Collins, Republican from Nampa, Senator Jeff Agenbrod, Republican from Nampa, Representative Rick Youngblood, Republican from Nampa, Scott Syme, and Tammy Nichols from Caldwell and Middleton. Commissioners called the meeting because of the massive overcrowding issues they're facing in their jail. It's a drug war. The appeal to the state legislature in general, help us out, Commissioner, Tom Dale said. The sheriff says that there's around 700 to 750 people every day who are out on pretrial services, but most of those people should be in jail. He said the positive side is that they are not a burden. They are not burdening the taxpayers. No. Screw you. Screw building more cages. Not until you fix the laws in the drug war. Guarantee you that's what most of these people are in for. Alright. I'll see you guys in the next video. So, local lawmaker blasts gender-neutral bathrooms. Pushes for Boise State defunding. Now, the reason that they're doing this is because they're finding out that a lot of girls are skipping school. They won't attend because of the situation. What's happening is you're getting all these perverts pretending to have these gender neutral crap, and they're just there to like gawk at the women, and they're just perverts, man. So, a second conservative legislator is pushing colleagues to defund Boise State University, decrying what he calls President Marlene Trump's, oh, she's back in the story, atrocious leftist agenda. Representative Chad Christensen, Republican of Ammon, posted a photo on his campaign Facebook page of a gender-neutral restroom at Boise State. All right, so this is the second public official that's come out against Boise State. Representative Nichols had a story a while ago about the same thing, except it wasn't about gender neutral. It was basically the ideology of the left is influencing, I guess. So, but I don't know. Christensen wrote in part, "There are 2 toilet stalls, a urinal, plenty of tampon pads, and a sink. I wasn't aware that Idaho taxpayers also paid for tampons and pads. I have had it with this immoral garbage. Yes, this is going on in an Idaho university. Does this not encourage sexual assaults? Does this not set up men and women for false accusation? Yes, it does." Very, very good, Christensen. You got it. Not surprisingly, the response has been sharply divided. Christensen's Facebook post has generated more than 750 comments since Friday, with some commenters supporting Christensen's push to defund the state's largest university, and others mocking the first-term lawmaker. "People pee, people get periods," said one commentator. "Has no one ever explained this phenomenon to you? Maybe you should go to college and learn about it." That doesn't make sense. Like, that's not what the problem is, you idiot. Gosh. Controversy has its own Twitter hashtag. Hashtag pads for Mad Chad. That's funny. I'm all for making fun of politicians. 2 weeks ago, Representative Tammy Nichols floated the defunding idea in an interview with Breitbart News, a conservative website. "We have these kids that we're paying to be educated, and they're being indoctrinated," said Nichols, Republican from Middleton. And I think it's going to be taking away the funding in order to change the dynamics of what's happening in our education system. In July, Christensen and Nichols were among 28 House Republicans who wrote a letter to Trump, Trump, by the way, urging the new president to disavow a series of diversity and inclusion programs at Boise State. I wanted to read some of the comments. Ashley Denise Argyle said, I would like to hear this man's opinion on Viagra being paid for by the government. In 2014, over $41 million was spent by the U.S. government to make sure men, not women, can fight erectile dysfunction. It's unfair to the female population as it's strictly a male issue. Republican men are so fragile. If anyone attempts to take away their rights, stop them from getting the respect or resources they need and deserve, or makes them feel less than human, then you're labeled un-American. It's just absurd hypocrisy. Hold on. You make anybody have their rights taken away. You have anybody stop getting respect or the resources they need or deserve, or you treat anybody less than human, they're not just going to call you un-American. They're going to call you a piece of shit, Ashley. Because that's what you are. See, you're arguing a stupid argument point. The government should not fund Viagra. It should not fund women's abortions and pads. So your argument is just stupid. Yeah, we should take away the Viagra funding from the government. This guy says, not sure the government's logic on the Viagra, but why does the government pay for anything like this? Exactly. Why does Planned Parenthood get over $500 million through Medicaid taxpayers to perform abortions, murder that can only benefit women? That's unfair to the male population when it's strictly a female issue. How absurd your argument is, libtards. Newsflash, life's not fair. Get over it. Use your own bathroom and pay for your own crap. Do you as a libtard really want some creepy old Republican with Viagra you paid watching you pee? Yeah, that was by Mike Hunt. Good job, Mike. Anyways, I just thought that was funny. All right. I'll see you guys in... Welcome to U.S. News. So, court ruling could make it harder for abused minors to sue. The court said 5 men who said they were sexually abused as youths at a juvenile detention center can't sue because they waited too long to file a tort claim. Are you kidding me? See, I have mixed feelings about this because those that really, truly deserve it should be able to sue. But what do you do for the ones that are false allegations? We've seen that too. Like, there's so many of them. How do you weed that out? I don't know. I don't think passing a law to prevent them to sue is going to help. I think they should let them sue and present the evidence. That's just what I think. I think they're trying to cover their ass is what I'm thinking. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. An Idaho Supreme Court ruling could make it harder for juveniles molested by state officials to sue their abusers. Are you kidding me? Okay, I'm going to try not to cuss like I did with the judge yesterday. It might be hard. Monday's unanimous decision, the court said 5 men who said they were sexually abused as youths at a juvenile detention center can't sue the state because they waited too long to file a tort claim, even though they were well within the statute of limitations for the lawsuit itself. Are you kidding me? Who the hell's in our court? I want to know who made these decisions. It was the wrong decision in my opinion. But like I said, it's hard. I think they're covering their ass, but the ruling means that the men's lawsuit against the Idaho Department of Juvenile Corrections and against 2 former staffers as their roles as state employees must be dismissed. The High Court found. Are you kidding? Well, the High Court is a joke then. Still, the portion of the lawsuit that is against the two former staffers. As individuals can go forward, Justice John Stagner wrote for the unanimous court. In the lawsuit, the men said they were sexually abused by two staffers and a medical intern while they lived at the Idaho Department of Juvenile Corrections Detention Center in Nampa, Idaho. The men said the IDJC officials were in a position to stop the abuse but failed to do so, and as a result, they endured emotional stress, pain, and suffering. One of the former staffers named in the lawsuit, Julie McCormick, was convicted of lewd conduct for sexually abusing a 15-year-old boy at the detention center. Another former staffer, Valerie Letu, was charged with sexual battery and other crimes after prosecutors said she had improper contact with a child at the detention center. But she pleaded not guilty, and those charges were later dismissed by the court. So if they have evidence that these men made it up, fine, dismiss it. But if you don't have evidence and you're just, it looks like they're trying to protect, but if they do have evidence that I don't have, then yeah, I will stand with the court. But if they don't have evidence, no, they're wrong. The men filed the lawsuit within 5 years of turning 18, but they did not file a tort claim first because they believed it wasn't required. At the heart of the decision is the two separate Idaho laws, the Idaho Tort Claim Act, which says, people who want to sue a government entity must first give the government notice in the form of a tort claim, and the statute of limitations for sex abuse lawsuits, which details how long people who are sexually abused as minors have to seek justice through the civil courts. Well, they need to come up with some kind of loophole or redo the Idaho Tort Claim Act. Everything starts with good intentions, but I don't believe this one is. The statute of limitations for sex abuse survivors says if they want to sue, they have to do so within 5 years of the time they reach the age of 18, or within 5 years of the time they reasonably discover the impact of abuse has had in their life. The Tort Claim Act, however, says juveniles had to file a notice of a lawsuit within 6 months of their 18th birthday or within 6 years of the injury, whichever comes first. Adults, meanwhile, must file tort claims within 6 months of the injury or when it is reasonably discovered, whichever comes first. Now, if they have a lawyer and that lawyer didn't do that tort claim, I'd fire him. The Idaho Supreme Court said that because the statute of limitations law didn't specifically carve out an exemption from the Tort Claim Act, both laws must apply. That, Stagner wrote, means the men can't sue the state because they didn't file a timely tort. Do you see these technicalities? This is what pisses me off. The law never follows common sense. We are mindful of the impact of this conclusion on sexual abuse claims by minors, Stagner wrote. Oh, you're mindful? Noting that it will likely result in the dismissal of potential meritorious claims through no fault of the minors. The justice said the case raises serious issues about the laws. Yeah, it does. Because it creates a situation where the statute of limitation doesn't even begin to run until years after the tort claim deadline has already passed. Nevertheless, this court is obligated to apply the plain language of the ambiguous statute, Stagner wrote. And I guarantee you the everyday people out there have no idea. So any of you victims out there, this is just messed up. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm just overreacting. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video.